Season 3 of Titan should give us a lot more of the daughter of Trigon's tale. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and we have a little update on Raven from Titans. And we have a little breakdown of Raven in Season 3 of Titans. But first, I wanted to remind everybody, make sure you get in on this month's giveaway. We're giving away a Volume 1 Omnibus of Teen Titans. In order to get in on the giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber, hit like, and leave a comment. Well, it's another Titans Tuesday, so it's time to continue our character series. This week, we're going to talk about Rachel, aka Raven, the daughter of Trigon. Season 2 ended with Rachel flying off into the sunset with the body of Donna Troy headed to Themyscira. But I thought it would be a great time to take a couple of minutes to break down what the future might look like for the character. Now, over the course of the last 2 seasons, Rachel has had a bit of a rough run. Haunted by visions and the murder of her mother, she ran away. She was eventually taken to St. Paul's. She was rescued by Gar, put under the knife by the chief, and eventually found herself betrayed by her real mother and facing Trigon himself. After the Season 2 premiere, it appeared Rachel might have a new life ahead for herself. But clearly the story of her darkness was not over. Now, as we traveled through Season 2, we found many instances of Rachel's powers literally unraveling before our eyes. She lost control during that sparring match with Jason Todd where he was really hurt. She nearly killed Rose while Rose was trying to escape the tower. She injured Gar during a bad dream, and that eventually spiraled into her killing the criminal abuser of her friend and even creating fully functional illusions in the Elko Diner. Now, one of the interesting things about all of these outbursts is they are pure Rachel. These were Rachel's desires, and it seems to align with what she said in the show. Rachel doesn't believe it's Trigon. She absolutely believes these outbursts of her powers are her. And she believes that she actually changed when she killed Trigon. Actually, in the series, Corey calls it a transfiguration, and it appears to really scare her as a whole. Now, that demon gargoyle that killed the abusive father seemed to be the worst of her powers outburst, but actually the full reality-defying Elko Diner scene was quite a demonstration of power. She literally wanted, more than anything else, to bring the team back together, and she manipulated reality to make it happen. Now, Raven has a pretty clear path moving forward. She's headed to Themyscira, and since we know we're getting the return of Donna Troy in Season 3, she's likely to be a key part of her resurrection. If you remember back during Season 1, she actually resurrected a deer, so some of this has been foreshadowed, but it's really unclear which version of Donna Troy this will bring back. Her powers are dark, and this could very well, like in the comics, bring around a much darker version of Donna Troy, sending Rachel down a somewhat deeper path into darkness. By the end of the season, this actually appears to be Rachel's intentions. If you remember, during the funeral scene, Dick Grayson tells her that she can't change the world, and she appears defiant. There is a huge danger of her fully embracing her powers to bring back Donna and opening a much bigger door to darkness. Now, we've been getting teased with the return of Trigon for a while, and that very well might be what's going to happen. I don't think this happens in Season 3. It's likely to be one of those end-of-season cliffhangers teasing us with the return of Trigon, or maybe more. If you are familiar with the comics, you know Rachel is one of 7 children of Trigon. Now, Raven actually represents the sin of pride. There's also Jared, who's wrath, Jesse, who is envy, Jacob, who is lust, Jack, who is sloth, James, who is greed, and then there's gluttony. These are actually paternal children, and they all have different mothers. Now, in the comics, ironically, they are not the allies of Trigon. The children actually use all their manifested emotional warping powers and gather together to claim their demonic inheritance. The sons of Trigon use their sister Raven as a portal into Trigon's realm, where they actually betray their father and siphon off all of his demonic power. Ironically, Trigon is proud of them. They're the sins, and it's exactly what he would expect of his children. Now, the story eventually sees the Titans and Raven face off against her brothers and defeat them, and although the show does carve its own path for most of these storylines, these characters fit in perfectly. Clearly, with an expansion of Trigon's power in the future, we very well may see her siblings appear in a future season. This might not be part of Season 3, maybe Season 4, or even beyond, but clearly the forces of darkness are coming back. Now, where Rachel fits into Season 3 is kind of a question. There have been several articles that indicate that Rachel and Donna's story can fit anywhere in Season 3. The primary storylines are Jason Todd's Red Hood and Blackfire, so where they fit Donna Troy's return in there doesn't really matter. The expansion of Trigon's dark power via Rachel might even take part in Season 4, and we just get a couple of tidbits laid along Season 3 to get us started. In any case, Raven is a huge part of the Teen Titans mythos, and I don't think the character is going anywhere, but I do think her dark storyline that appeared to be resolved early in Season 2 will eventually return, and it'll probably have the children of Trigon. One of the tidbits of news that we do know about Season 3 for Rachel is apparently she is going to get a much more comic-accurate costume. I have to say, so far, her costume really wasn't a complaint to me, and the gem in her head looks really great on TV, so although Titans has hit many of these costumes out of the park, I don't know if it's necessary, but it is welcome. Now obviously once we get more details about Season 3 of Titans, a trailer, or more news will bring it to you right away. But I am really curious. What would you like to see out of Raven in Season 3 of Titans? And how far down the dark portal do you think the character will go before the team has to redeem her? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.